Welcome in, everybody, and happy Monday to you. We have a very special flight today. We're going to be going from Kaliningrad, which was the place we landed at in the last stream. If you came over to that, it was on Friday, and thank you to everyone who did. It was a very enjoyable experience. We went up from Krakow, we ended up Kaliningrad, which is where we are today. So yeah, we're here. Just noticed there's a bit of an issue with the screen, so just give me a moment to fix that. There you go. So we're parked outside on the jetway ramp of Kaliningrad Airport, and we're heading up to Riga, and it's looking like a fantastic day. I have my flight plan pre-filed, and everything is looking pretty good. I think we're dry runway, and both takeoff and landing. And yeah, let's get into it. We're gonna go ahead. Slowly sort of walk up. Imagine we're walking up to the aircraft. Okay, we're in. Boom. Right, so we have our, as I say, we have our flight plan. I can't figure out how to load it onto the game so you can see it, but welcome in. If anyone has any suggestions, let me know, and especially about bringing up that the flight plan I have in PDF format. So we have our estimated weight, estimated fuel. We know what passengers will be. We're going to be full. We're going to have 180 passengers today, so a bit more than usual. Different kind of configuration, you see. Yeah, just give you a quick rundown. It's a shame you can't see it, but the PDF file does say that the dry runway for minimum takeoff weight is about 7,368 kilograms, which is not really that much, to be honest. And then when we land, we land in Riga, which is looking fairly good as well, to be honest. They're very dry. I'll just skip down. We got our standard instrument departure programmed in, or ready to be programmed in. We do have icing guidance, but there's no icing today, thankfully. Yeah, it's a standard instrument departure and a standard approach procedure arrival, or however you wanted to say it. We won't be doing too much ATC. We might be able to if it works. I managed to do a successful flight from Belgrade to Budapest. The ATC worked, absolutely no issues with it, and I'm going to be uploading that video in the near future. So yeah, let's crack on. We are going to be setting off in approximately maybe 10 to 15 minutes. Just depends how long the preparation is going to take and how long it takes to get the preparation FMC programmed and whatnot. Okay, just still flicking through the flight plan, just getting that information so we can program it in. Yeah, Neri, again, I don't know if I pronounce it, but the Nerim Golf 3 Mike departure, and then the Ascor 2 Golf procedure for arrival. Right, let's go ahead and bring the aircraft alive. You see, we've got the stairs there. We might be able to attach the jetway, so just remove. Okay, so it sort of brought the stairs down automatically when I open the door. That's fine. Let's go ahead and stick the battery on. Standard first step, so let me move it over here so you can see it. Yeah, battery on. Bring the aircraft alive. Happy Monday to you as well. I already said it. Welcome, and if you're brand new here, my name's Grantham. Oh yes, we are back. Find us in the 737 going into Riga. I'm glad you can join us today. It's really going to be a good flight. Really going to be smooth. There's going to be no issues whatsoever. So yeah, we start with the battery. We got our emergency arms, lights armed. Stick some lights on as well. It's bright pitch. In terms of the light brightness, it's pretty good, but we want to make sure we can see it clearly. It's better to have those on. Check the battery status. Okay, now APU. Just adjust the view a bit. APU on. One fuel pump on to supply the APU. We're going to go ahead and just wait for the APU before we align the IRS. There we go, it's boosted up. While that does that, we will quickly just do the fuel. So the flight plan is giving us a fuel of approximately 6,500 kilograms, but we're going to be We're actually going to have to take slightly more than that. I think we're going to have to take about 6.7, so 6,700 kilograms. So let's go ahead and put that in. I'm still kind of figuring out the game to an extent, but we're going to do this in 180 passenger configuration. There we go. So 180 passengers, 5,421 cargo. So 0, we want 6.7, so 6,750 just for good measure. We really, we might be pushing like borderline overweight for takeoff, but I'm sure we're fine. We're well above minimum takeoff weight, that's for sure. Right, that's active, so it should start doing some things. It'll be refueling momentarily. The APU's on, let's go ahead, switch to the APU bus. Now we're going to move back here. We're going to do the IRS, switch them both to navigation. You can stick it to a line and then navigation, but a lot of people just do it straight to navigation. We'll test some of the emergency systems. Okay, so we have the stall MAC warning. Let's do some of the tests on the dash. Main control or forward control panel. Make sure the lights are illuminated, yes. Just wait for the IRS now. Usually takes about 8 minutes. Okay, that's done. Any issues on the audio, then let me know. I have got the audio on, so hopefully you can hear both the aircraft and myself. And anything else is going on. So we've got cleaners and we've got people refueling the aircraft currently. Okay. Just checking our cargo at the moment. Cargo fire warning. That's this small section. Where's it gone? Just there. And always check the APU. We should really check that before we start the APU, but I'm sure it's absolutely fine. There would have been a mechanic or an engineer, probably an engineer, in here previously just doing these tests anyway. In fact, we started from cold and dark, but realistically someone would have prepped the aircraft for us. Standard squawk 7,000, make sure we're not squawking anything else when we're ready to take off. Okay. So you can see up there the IRS is prepping its systems. It's got about 7 minutes left. So what can we do in the meantime is not program the FMC, but perhaps try and figure out this tablet. Ground services, checklists, let's do the checklists. So we've done that. We switch that to navigation, voice recorder, flight deck access, guard closed. I mean, technically we do need it open, because there's no one on board at the moment. We're probably alright to leave it open, so let's just leave that. Emergency equipment. We know we got rope in case we need to get out of the window. The ELT light switch is closed. I mean, it does tell you where it is, but I'm sure you can turn that off. The lights extinguished. Yeah. GPS light. Yeah. If I say yep, it means that's complete. I should really say check or complete. Service interphone is on. Let's turn that off. Engine panel. I'm looking the wrong way. I keep looking up there down to the bloody central console. Landing gear, oxygen panel. Let's just check the oxygen. Oxygen on that side. Oxygen on co-pilot side. Oxygen is indeed set. It's automatic. Landing gear light. Yeah, we got set up there. Set up there. Check. Flight recorder guard closed. Check. Stall warning test. I don't know what's going on with this stall warning. Like, it won't work. A lot of the times it doesn't work, and sometimes it will. So I don't really know if that's an issue with the plane or with something else, or maybe I'm missing something. I'm following the checklist. Manual gear extension door closed. Yeah, parking brake. So that's the preliminary checklist. We've got CDU. We need to just wait for the very, very long and somewhat tedious, but while waiting I can talk to you all and just sort of give you a bit of better view of the aircraft. There we go, we've got people on the ground there fueling, loading baggage, and I'm in the front at the cockpit flight deck. Got up the 737 stairs. You know, I've never been to Latvia either, but it's good to see here, I've never been, but I was meant to go in January, and I had the most unfortunate run of circumstances. I was planning to go to Riga, and unfortunately, you know, things got in the way, and I had to cancel my plans. So, I'm hoping in the near future, i.e. this year, before, you know, maybe in May or some April, May, I'll be able to go to Riga. I really love that. It just looks like a fantastic place. I've seen so many things there about it, and the culture and the sort of differences and people's language. The language as well is good. I know a lot of people there speak Russian. Just to do my sort of customary Dobro Projelovit na my YouTube canal intro for them. If you are Russian, of course, you're more than welcome here. And Latvian, of course. I think Labdayan is good day, so hello to you as well. Right, FMC, 3 minutes. Let's go ahead and turn some more systems on while we're waiting and activate. So let's go check the crossfeed. In real life, the valve here would actually, so it lasts a bit, the light comes on for about a few seconds, but in real life it would take a lot longer for this light to go off, to come on and go off. I don't know why that is, but it's just obviously the plane on the sim is different to real life. Right, I hope you got a good view here. It's pretty good for me. I can see everything. You can see, so we work down, so we work around from left to right, or we can go from top to bottom. It doesn't really matter as long as you cover everything in there. Can't really do our CDU checklist just yet as we're waiting. Okay, we got our APU on, our wipers need checking, just in case we run into a storm, but it's looking really, really clear. Check the status of the refueling. Okay, we didn't get any notification by the refueler, so it mustn't be quite finished.
All loaded up and you are good to go.
Good, thank you. So just on time, they've given us notification, we can start boarding. It's more of a safety procedure, I think. Don't want to board passengers while you're refueling an aircraft. Doesn't really make sense.
Seatbelt sign, please recheck the security of your seatbelt.
Okay, hopefully you can hear them coming in. Yep, we got a bus, even though there's a terminal jetway right next to us, we have a bus. That's another issue, I think, with the aircraft. Trying to figure out the doors, we've got the aft, yeah, doors are open. Everything's looking good. There we go. Maybe there's something wrong with the jetway, who knows. Okay, this is 1 minute. Doesn't seem to take this long when I'm on my own. Let's go ahead and just do the FMC anyway. As soon as I put these lights up. There we go. Okay, position initialization. Reference airport is uniform Mike Kilo Kilo. And we're at gate. Awesome, thank you. Let's look at our gate number 6. Let's put 6 in here. This is a good tutorial as well. If you are watching this, you don't understand it to use. It's a good tutorial in the FMC. We are in fact ready to do the main CDU. So we'll go back to the checklist. All we need to do is initialization data, navigation data, and performance. Right. It sounds like a lot, but it's not really. Set IRS position. We can just use the airport, or we can use our sort of more precise one on the next page. There we go. Pops up. Yeah, that means the IRS system up at the top there is aligned. There we go. It's giving us our current coordinates. So we go back. We've initialized it to the airport, but we might have been better using FMC IRS. It's pretty much the same, so you don't have to worry. Okay, route, origin. Delete that. You know we're at uniform Mike Kilo Kilo. Uniform Mike Kilo Kilo. I'm going to be heading to Echo Victor Romeo Alpha, which is EVRA Airport, Riga Airport in Latvia. Okay, flight plan request. I haven't learned how to do this just yet. I have downloaded the flight plan from SimBrief. I highly recommend you use it. It gives you all the data you need. You do need to check the cost index in a second. But in general, that's the route. Let's just tick that so it doesn't flash in our way, and then we can do our pre-flight checklist. Right. Okay, ground weight. We do have it on the. As I say, we've got the printed flight plan. I'm getting a bit stumbled with words. It's on the flight plan. It's got all the information about zero fuel weight and reserves. I don't think we've got any reserves, to be honest. We got a alternate airports and a contingency of 15 minutes, which is not much. So I guess we got alternate airport trip. We don't need about 2,000 kilos for the trip. Yeah, it's about 2.5 on reserves. Cost index. So there is actually a cost index on the flight plan from SimBrief, which I find quite useful, although to be honest, you don't really need to bother with it. If you're not going for that full sort of realism, I wouldn't recommend even bothering with it, because sometimes if you don't know how to read the flight plan, it can be tricky to find it. And I'll be honest, I struggle to find it sometimes, even if I know where I'm looking. Right, I've already gone through the departure procedure here. We're going to program the departure in a second. We'll just find that cost index. It's usually classed as, it'd be called CI on the plan, and that's where you get the information. Just give me a moment to locate it. Even there's plenty of maps in the document. It gives you a few maps, not very detailed. I think you have to pay, if you want sort of the real Jefferson maps, I think you have to pay for it. So I'm not really into paying for stuff when it's available for free through Flight Simulator. Cost index is, still can't find it. I'm having one of those days. Just can't activate my eyes to my brain. We have got, I think we got diversion for, we've got a like alternate airport as Vilnius in Lithuania. It's only a short flight, so we can kind of take our time here. Wait for everyone to load up as well. Kastrup. We did go past Copenhagen on the 777, but Kastrup has been listed on here as a danger area. Right, that could just be an alternate airport. That's the alternate airport Kastrup. That's good to know. Yeah, it is. Kastrup is an alternate. Right, let's hope there's no issues then. Got QNH. It has given us local weather. I went through it. Given us dry runway. Estimated takeoff is 144 on V1, 146 on VR, then 153 on V2. That's according to the plan with dry conditions, calm winds, which is what I'm expecting. So yeah, not very fast on quite fast on takeoff. QNH is also available. I was going to say it then. It's currently giving us QNH 1026. Permitted runway 6 is takeoff, and then we'll be landing at obviously a different one. Yeah, it probably will be a nice city in Riga. It's, I find that with most European cities, to be fair. Some of them are a bit more, I wouldn't say not nice, but just they feel a bit more crowded. I feel like Riga would be a combination of not too busy and very, very green as well. I know the Latvians like their forests, and their nature, and mushroom picking and stuff like that, and I like that thing. I like that stuff. I used to do it, which is probably why I enjoy going. Just to explore other nature and amazing landmarks. KGB museum as well, apparently, which I'm looking forward to. Right, I can't find the cost index. I'm really sorry. One of those days. My mind is not even focused on. I cannot find it. So my apologies for that. Let's go back. I'm going to go back and sim brief. It's a bit easy to see it on there instead of looking at the actual flight plan. Right. Right, it's cost index. It's not even coming up. So let's generate the flight again. Right, cost index 48. Cruising altitude 37,000 feet. Okay. Now we've got the information. So 48, 37,000 feet. Finally. Yeah, Barcelona, I can imagine. I mean, well, I can only imagine. I flew there. The stream was... Last stream we did, actually. It didn't go too bad. It didn't lag. But the Barcelona flight lagged at the end, so you couldn't see the terrible landing. But the... the flight last time, I was hoping there was going to be no issues. I'm just really surprised I can't stream X-Plane 12 without a little bit of lag. I'm reaching about 70 frames at the moment. 75, so there shouldn't be any issues with it. I've streamed Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 with no problems, so it makes me think there's an issue with the optimization of the game, because if it can stream Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 with no issues, then that game seems to be a lot more advanced, a lot more in depth, then, you know, why can't I do this one? But of course it's it's one of those things, isn't it? Right, we'll execute that. Go en route. We have taken a while. We were kind of waiting for the passengers as well as my brain to activate. We're not 100%, so she should tell us in a second, the flight attendant. We're going to program our route in. So I'm just going to copy and paste it into here. This is our route.
Flight attendants, prepare your doors for departure, please. Cross-check and I'll call.
And we want the...
Alright, we've got everyone strapped in. Give us a ring if you need anything.
I will do, thank you. And please bring me a... Oh, she's gone. I was going to say please bring me a coffee, but she's gone already. Right, Neri Golf 3. Mike departure. Okay, so we got quite the route. Doesn't seem to be appearing in here at the moment. This could be an issue. Neri Golf 3 Mike. We've got Neri 3 Mike, but no golf in there. Oh my goodness. Let's just select that. Activate. Go back to departure. Just double check that it isn't available. Alright, I guess it isn't. We'll put the rest of the route in manually. Let's go to Neri, then we'll go to Airway Yankee 343. That's the airway. Over to Ascot. Which is the waypoint. And along Ascot, which is, well, I say the waypoint, that's the arrival. It's very short, this trip. to Ascot 2 Golf arrival. So according to our plan, we're going to be landing at... We're going to be departing runway 6, we know that. We're going to be arriving at Riga runway 18. Okay. There it is, the Ascot 2 Golf arrival. Awesome, so the route's programmed. Just quickly check it on the map. You got to click plan and then route or legs. Okay, as long as there's no breaks in this relatively short flight, which there isn't, we're good to go. And then that stuff afterwards is the circle back for a go around procedure. Okay, we're ready. Let's go ahead and let everyone know we're ready to depart.
We're ready up front. Everybody's closed up outside. We're just waiting to get some of our performance numbers.
We got our performance numbers calculated. The captain's slightly behind. We've done our light tests. Gonna go ahead and stick our anti-collision lights on, make sure the area is clear. We need to set 37,000 feet, which is our cruise altitude, quite high up. We should have calculated speeds automatically. So if we click flight director on, you'll notice, and we will do the we will do the hectopascals pressure in a moment. So I'll set this to takeoff speed. Course of 052. We're of course taking off runway 6. Oh. Jet to takeoff. Okay, I just want to make sure I've done everything properly. Make sure we got everything on. We got to stick the window heat on, despite being warm. We do want to, and the pitot heat as well. It's kind of just you're not taking risks by sticking it on early. If you stick it on late, you might be taking a slight risk. Right, that should be auto. APU air should be on. Okay, we're ready to go. Request pushback to the left.
Khrabrovo Tower, Ryanair 821. Request pushback to the left.
Ryanair 821. Stand by. Pushback tracker is on the
Oh, welcome in. I hope I'm saying your name right, but Roki. I did have Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 not long ago on Game Pass PC, so PC Game Pass, which was, I have to say, quite good. It did kind of lure me in with the free, it wasn't a free trial, I had to pay 99p for 2 weeks, which is not bad to be honest, and it gave me a good feel of Microsoft Flight Simulator in that time. I do recommend it over X-Plane 12, just because X-Plane 12 is a bit more, let's put it this way, there were problems with both and there were positives with both, but the X-Plane 12 is more realistic, so in terms of its physics, I'm really struggling to say it's more realistic, because Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 was really good, and it was a realistic experience. But I recommend Microsoft Flight Simulator because it's more, I guess, usable, it's more user friendly, it looks like a game. You don't have to worry too much about, you know, crashing. When you crash, you just bounce off the ground. You can do an auto start, I believe. You have a real co-pilot, you can do a walk around. You can do it on X-Plane 12. I prefer X-Plane 12 because I want to be a bit more, I don't like the sort of warm game-like visuals of Microsoft, but X-Plane 12 is more hardcore realistic. I hope I'm explaining that well. It looks more realistic. And you can get it on Game Pass, or PC Pass, and probably Game Pass for Xbox and Sony as well, if it's on PlayStation. I suspect it isn't though.
Khrabrovo Tower, Ryanair 821. Request pushback.
Okay, so we got a bit of an issue. We got no pushback at.
Tractor is on the way. No pushback service available.
Oh, excuse me. I just realised we got no pushback at Kaliningrad Airport, which is really surprising. We've got a terminal, we got a jetway, but it doesn't seem to work. And we did test the oxygen. We set the clock. Yeah, clock is set. Nose wheel steering. Just set that on the hardware. Yeah, guard is closed. Display selector, yeah. Takeoff configuration light off. So we're all good to depart. Cabin altitude. Right, we didn't do our cabin altitude, so this is a good time to do it. Otherwise we'll kill probably everyone on board. It has done it automatically. We're going to do it on the safe side. Don't worry about the pressure of the local weather, because we'll do that in a second. Cabin altitude light test, yes. We've done this. Start out trim. We didn't check our takeoff. There we go, 5% trim. Perfect. Flight instruments checked. Standby instruments checked. Standby RMI checked. Speed brake checked. Reverse thrust lever, yep, check. Forward thrust levers, check. Flap levers set, not just yet, because we haven't started up. We do need to. We're going to do the start now. We've not got pushback, so we can probably start up. I'm going to have to download at one point the better pushback for the ZIBO mod. Highly recommend the ZIBO mod. The default version is not bad, but of course if you want a more realistic experience, go for the extra download. It's well worth it. Okay, the reason it's not spooling up, it's a good time to tell you, we turned the packs on, which is a mistake. That means we drain the bleed air from the APU, and that means we can't start the engine. See the engine spooling up. That means that we've got enough air from the APU now to do that. It's important not to do the air conditioning too soon on the aircraft. Okay, so engine 1 has started successfully. Just going to wait for that to spool. Flap lever was check. We're going to put them on full flaps for the pre-flight check. We should do it when both engines are started, but we'll do it now in preparation. So when the engines start, the flaps will move on their own. Right, engine 1, generator, bleed air, start engine 2. There we go, it's spooling up. I'm not going to do the flaps yet. We shouldn't really be disobeying the checklists. That's how crashes happen, that's how accidents happen. We'll do a flight control test once we're back on the taxiway. Can't adjust the seat. It does say seat, but I don't think there's any way of adjusting it, so it's a case of the view. If you can't adjust it, maybe you can let me know. Rudder pedals, we've got no rudder pedals. Seat belts, can't adjust the seat belts. Can't find any seat belts. Oh well. Passenger seat belt signs are on. Fuel, engine 2. Double check that. We got 6.6 tons, I think that is, 6,500 kilos just about of fuel, so that'll last us easily till we get there. Arm the auto throttle. Okay, that's the preliminary checklist. So before start, checklist: door, CDU, and 1 bugs. Yeah, so the N1 bugs are sort of like automatic. So this green thing is set to take off. Check. Speed bugs, Yes, we can see the V1 126 main control panel. Check. Okay, so we'll add start. Before start, pushback transponder. Let's turn the transponder on. Parking brake by ground handling. Hydraulic pumps on. Just turn that bleed air on and do the engine stuff first. We're getting a bit distracted. Okay, APU's off, so now we need to switch the bleed air off. And the APU off, there we go. Isolation valve can be automatic. You can hear that sort of revving of the, or whooshing of the air conditioning in the background. Right. We've done the engine start. Let's just go and we'll just go ahead and tick all this off because I know what the checklist is. Okay. If you've done it many times, I guess you still have to do it. It's still part of the procedure. But if you're on a flight sim, you can probably just, you know, tell people like I have. Engine start, yes. Before taxi, yes. Probe heat, yes. Anti-ice, we don't need anti-ice. Pack switches, automatic, auto, on the valve. APU off. APU switch checked. Starter switch is continuous. Idle. Set flaps. I'm going to do the flap test now, just to make sure it's working. Flight controls. Check. Awesome. Next one is the takeoff checklist. We won't do that to runway 6. Right, let's go. I'm going to do a slight cheat. So when we're looking at the flaps, you'll notice there's two levers. There's a split down the middle. That's for both sides, obviously, the left wing and right wing. If they aren't moving symmetrically or together, you want to, you know, there's an issue with the flaps, basically. Right, we can retract that back to 5, which is our takeoff setting, and we're going to do a cheat. We're going to do a reverse thruster reverse, basically, because there's no pushback, and there's no better pushback download for me at the moment. So we're just going to do it this way. Okay, we're just about departing, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome aboard flight Ryanair 524, direct to Riga. We expect the weather en route to be clear, sunny with a slight breeze on landing. We hope you enjoyed your flight with Ryanair today, and thank you for your patience. Arm in lateral navigation and vertical navigation. Okay, ready to taxi. Taxi lights on. Flaps set. We're all good to go. It really does look fantastic. When I landed here the other day from Krakow, I said it looked beautiful. So sunny. A good amount of planes as well. We have had Air France, look like a CRJ by the look of it. Air France, Brit Air. Interesting. Somebody also commented I uploaded a video of a landing, ILS landing into Riga. A night landing, and someone commented that it was hard. So the reason it looks hard is because I've got the G-forces camera on, and because my viewpoint is slightly higher than what you might expect. This is a good viewpoint. It's kind of realistic as well to what I'd be seeing in real life. But yeah, the landing isn't hard. It's just coming across as hard because the autopilot puts you onto a glide slope to land. and that's the acceptable glide slope, but when you land with the G-forces on, it bounces around, so it makes it look like you've hit the ground quite the speed. The reality is though, you land absolutely fine. Okay, forgive my taxiing today, it's not very good. Quite a bit of left and right on the taxiway. There it is, runway 06 via Bravo. We haven't done the ATC because I've been having, as I say, some issues with it. Sometimes it's hit or miss, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It gets a bit confused on the approach, on the majority of aircraft that I've used it on. Okay, preparing for takeoff. So go back to checklists. Takeoff checklists. Yeah, we're on the right runway. Okay, let's stop there a second. Let's just do this. Strobe lights. Yeah, strobe lights are on. Other lights as needed. Transponder. Takeoff mode is set. Currently squawking 7000. Fixed landing lights on. When we do it says click takeoff go around switch, but the reality is I can't click it because it's a little bit hidden. Right, let's get going. We don't want to delay our flight any longer. It's already been a good 40 minutes of preparation time, which is about normal to be honest. Usually would board the plane half an hour before departure, which is what was happening on this flight. Remember, V1 speed is up here. I've put it on the speed indicator so you can see it was about 145. So we check right, we check left. Usually we do a read back to the co-pilot to confirm that the runway is in fact clear and there's no traffic incoming, and you would do that because when you are entering an active runway, obviously you are entering a high risk area because there's a possibility of plane landing or taking off there. So you want to make sure it's clear on both sides. You don't want a collision. There's always the pilot's responsibility as well to make sure there isn't, along with ATC. Okay, let's go. 40% N1. I'll fly this manually up to about 10,000 feet. Weather radar on.
knots.
80 knots. Check. V1, rotate.
Positive rate.
Positive rate. Gear up. Slight crosswind. Quite windy on takeoff. Okay, 400 feet.
1,000.
1,000. See the N1 on the auto throttle kicked in on the right side. Okay, retract flaps 1. Pitch down to about 10 degrees. Neutralize the landing gear, rejected takeoff to off. Continue to climb now on the departure turn to the west, sorry, northwest. say about 20 to 25 degree bank. There we go. And that piece of land on the lower left side is the Bering Strait, I believe. I hope that's the right pronunciation for it, or if that's what it's called. This stretch of land which stretches right from Kaliningrad to Riga, Latvia. Okay, flaps 0. I can now accelerate past 250 knots. You see the autothrottle kicked in automatically because I had it armed. So it's automatically setting that N1 speed for us, which is about 230. I'd say that's very close to accurate, and now it's set it to 250 knots. So the aircraft's predetermined this for us after we calculated the speeds and we put in the weight and other sort of data for it to use and utilise. It's now giving us 250. When we pass, say 10,000 feet, it should give us a unlimited speed, maybe about 280 to 300 knots. It depends because we're going quite high to 37,000. Okay, we keep climbing. We're going to keep the runway light, turn off lights off, and the land lights off. Okay, climbing cruise. We like landing lights off. Passenger side. I am doing this hand control at the moment, but I have got a good steady climb there. It's well trimmed aircraft, so we're not needing too much. Slightly more trim. We're not needing too much input on the controls. As needed, altimeter standard on both. Okay, before top of descent. Right, so that's cruise, climbing cruise. We don't need that just at the moment. We will tell them when we've levered off though in the cabin. 9,000 feet. Absolutely no import in my end because it's well trimmed. And we're maintaining a fairly good speed, I'd say. I'm going to go ahead and activate the autopilot. That should take us up to 37,000 feet. So we're meant to be about 11,000, which is about right now. Yeah, 300 knots as I suspected is the cruising speed until we get up to flight level 370. And down here on the computer it gives you the altitude, so 11,000 feet. After that we'll be cleared, after this checkpoint or waypoint we'll be cleared up to flight level 150. We have a cruising altitude of 37,000 feet on our flight plan. However, it's given us not 37,000 feet on the CDU down here. It's given us 11,000, 15,000, at which point we'll have to descend, so I guess we won't have time to get up to 37,000 feet, which is not bad. Amazing. Clear weather as well. I'll leave you to it. We got a very short flight, so I'm going to step away from the cockpit. I can look at chat briefly while I get a drink, and I'll return to the flight deck momentarily. If the plane is going haywire, you have permission to sit back and enjoy. Okay, just checking chat. We have find this next route. I haven't actually planned my next route. We could go there, I suppose. It depends what the sort of demand is like. I'm not too familiar with it. Svalbard Airport in Norway. And I'm assuming OSL is Oslo Airport. Svalbard to Oslo, yeah, I guess that could work. Maybe we could do a flight from perhaps Svalbard to... I don't know. It gave me a moment to think while I go and get something to drink, and I'll return momentarily. The captain has returned to the flight deck. Glad to say we are in fact cruising at 37,000 feet today. Just currently flying through flight level 260, and the captain has just made a very nice cup of hot water. So let's just do our checklist. Let's just turn the seatbelt signs on. Let's do a bit of cabin service, get some meals on board. I'm sure people want a nice snack. We're saying goodbye to Kaliningrad, so that's Vidania, and we'll have a day into Riga. I think we will do maybe a Svalbard trip in Norway. Quite far north, to be honest. So probably very cold. I was thinking about going to the North Pole, so we could do that. Greenland, Iceland, Svalbard. Yeah, I mean North Pole sounds very nice. I'll class that as the North Pole. I know it's not the real place where Santa lives, of course. Yeah, we could go for. So I usually fly from the place we landed at, so we could go from Riga to Svalbard, but that's quite far. It seems like it would be a long trip. I have considered doing a round trip as well from somewhere, so we could do Riga to Svalbard, and then after that, perhaps Svalbard to St. Petersburg. Yeah, if you like the sound of that, let me know. I'll put it down in my comments section after the video finishes, and people can sort of vote on it. yeah, it is north. It's kind of touching the edge of space there, isn't it? The edge of the world. Actually, we have all our lights on. It does seem a little bit dark in the cockpit today. And we have a frame rate, it was about 35 then, but it's about 50 now. Can't seem to maintain consistently 60 FPS, but Microsoft Flight Simulator was consistently over 100 frames per second, like all the time, every flight. And it would usually only drop down to 90 or 80 frames, and that was the absolute minimum. It was even better optimized than this is, so yeah, in terms of performance, Microsoft wins yet again, unfortunately. Even the seats look a lot better. If you want to get oxygenated, we have working oxygen. You can simply put the oxygen mask on by clicking this part. You should be able to hear my character breathing like a Darth Vader. So yeah, interesting. If you want to turn it off, turn the mask off, just click at the bottom and it takes the mask off. That's in case of depressurization, of course. A pilot wouldn't actually do that in flight unless you want to get high, of course. If you've ever seen that film with Denzel Washington, a really great film actually called Flight. It's I loved it. I saw it in 2012, when it came out. I watched it in the cinemas and I thought it was a brilliant film. I really did. Denzel Washington's acting in that was something else. I highly recommend it. It's called Flight. About a plane crash, and the pilot's investigated as the cause of the crash because he was intoxicated. So very well worth it. Given us a cruise altitude of 28,000 feet, we are pressurised to 37,000. Probably need to change that. Although, to be fair, we don't, because the cabin altitude is still pressurised. As you can see there, the small dial on the inside is the cabin, the outside is the aircraft, so the inside is pressurised about 6,000 feet, which is kind of standard on airliners. Just check this again. Check this takeoff. Right, we've done takeoff. Let's just tick this. 15 degrees. That's what we were doing. Roll mode. Yeah, we had that set. Start switches. Right. Forgot to change the starter switches back. We can put them to off or flight. I suppose off is probably better. Yes, we've done the routing. Descent is our next checklist.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, the seatbelt lights off. Just need to move about. OHRT, we recommend you keep your belt fastened. Thank you. You can have kids a little closer. Meanwhile, please sit back, relax, enjoy the trip with us.
Okay, we're actually already approaching Riga. We're already over Latvia, of course. We're approaching Riga. The FMC has calculated the top of descent for us and deceleration points, which is fantastic. As you can see there on the map, it shows you this I-score is the point of deceleration. So it's given us flight level 130, so we'll have to descend back down to 13,000 feet. Our top of descent is flight level 150. I'm not really oh right, I see, deceleration 150 through flight level 130, and then top of descent is flight level 150, so we're going to have to start descending very soon. We got a cruise speed of 294 at the moment. It's a very short flight, so as you can see from the map, we are barely 80 nautical miles from Riga, which is really close. We are going to be starting. We got a bit of a circuit down there before landing. I wonder if we can request a landing without getting the ATC upset. Let's see. So we got Vilnius. Hey, we got Jamala. I wonder if Jamala's busy at this time of the year. I'm sure it looks lovely. No Riga though. No Riga airport. I'm going to check the METAR data for Riga, just make sure we got the current pressurization settings. Current pressure is 10 22 hectopascals, and landing apart in runway 1. Right, so it's alright, runway 36. I was just going to say, we got a nice strong headwind, well, about 6 knot headwind for runway 36. 1022. Zero 22. I just set that before we click the standard pressure off, and then it's preset for when we descend. When we get to the descent point, I will tell the passengers we're descending and that they need to prepare for landing. I'm going to go ahead and do that now. Let's go ahead, put the passenger seatbelt signs on. Okay, let's do a checklist. Descent, landing altitude is, we've verified it. Yeah. System enunciation, check. On both sides. Speed reference. Okay, let's check what our landing reference speed is. So approach, we have a approach speed of 150 knots, landing speed of 130, which is relatively low considering that we've got 180 passengers on board. Okay, that's absolutely perfectly normal. Right, back to the the checklist. Check barometric minimums. Let's just set that now. On his as well. Co-pilot Joseph, if he's here. Navigation radio. Set, verify. Let's just check with ILSs for our runway. Let's check what runway I'm landing on actually. Runway 18, so we're actually programmed the wrong runway. This is always a good reason to check the metadata, because you can never be 100% sure. Even though SimBrief gave us runway 18, we are landing apart on runway 36. So I'm going to go ahead and change that now. Let's find the ILS frequency first. 108.1. 108.1. And we're going to change the approach to runway 36. Same, I think it's the same approach, it's just a different runway. Let's just do that. Okay, there we go. Okay, I did click execute. It's still following the runway down for landing. Discontinuity there. Auto brakes to 2. So I don't think we could change the approach at this time. I have clicked runway 36 ILS. Different runway, same approach, but it's not, didn't come up on the map as changing the direction. Need to start descending. The vertical navigation system was working. But it's not descending us down, so we're going to disengage it. I'm going to descend to flight level 7,000 feet. Quite a steep descent. There we go. So the throttles are pulling back, they will idle, and that will slow the aircraft down and help to give it a steeper descent. Right, there we go. I wonder if it might be easier just to go into runway 18. I know it's not the active runway. 111.1. And the reason is we've already pre-programmed it, so sometimes it is better just to do it as you've programmed it rather than following the rules. Yeah, I mean that was already programmed. Otherwise, we're gonna have to. I had a circle appear here. I'm assuming that would have taken us down, round, and then we would have had a very short turn there back to runway 36, which was, to be honest, not very practical. It would have been better just to turn right and be vectored in. So we're gonna do it this way instead. Okay, we got something at arm there. We want speed selecting. Okay, I've selected vertical navigation again, and it's still descending, so hopefully this will take us down to the flight level 7,000, which is what we need to be at this next point. Everything's looking clear. Welcome to Latvia, Riga. Just about. Go ahead and prepare for that checklist again. I have done the checklist descent and landing. Yes. Okay, slight turbulence. Very cold actually, -27. Don't even mess with the wings anti-ice, we're going to stick that on. And the engine anti-ice as well. That might be why we're sort of turning all over the place, might be a bit of ice build up on the wings. So hopefully not. And we are safe to deploy spoilers. I don't like to do it, but if you need to, you can. And of course it'll bring the speed of the aircraft down. I didn't show you, but there's a cool camera feature on this to check the cockpit door and the left and right entrance doors of the aircraft at the front, that is, so very, very handy. Keep an eye on passengers. Okay, I'm going to deploy one notch of flaps. So the flaps will help to create drag and slow the aircraft down. I'm going to do a prelim, we're just going to stick the lights on now. And consider this our high up approach. Yes, passenger size, altimeter. Set. Update RMP, we've done that. We were going to change it to the correct runway, but instead we're going to land with a tailwind, so this should be interesting. computer's calculated 180. 180 is our approach speed. We are extremely high up, we're way too high up. I'm going to drop flaps to 5. We have got the spoilers deployed. Hopefully it's going to pitch down, so just bring that descent rate to an ideal level. Otherwise we're going to have to disengage the autopilot and do it ourselves. Flaps 10 degrees, create more drag on the aircraft, slow it down even more. ILS landing. Okay. You can also do a different type of landing there, vertical VNAV landing, go around. I think we are doing a VNAV landing at this point. Nah, we're doing the ILS. It's very, very high up, we're not descending at all. Okay, seems the vertical navigation is a bit confused. It should be descending 5,000 feet, but it's not. Disengage that, we'll do it ourselves. And it's still, as you can see, disengage it, and it's still trying to control the altitude. I have no idea, that's an issue there. If the pilot should not be able to, or should not have a trim wheel that's controlling itself while the autopilot's off. We'll do this manually, and when we get to the approach we'll activate it. There we go. Finally, the aircraft doesn't do what you want it to, do it yourself, and at this point we're actually descending at a very good rate at last. Landing gears going down early. Helping to bring that speed back down. There we go. Nice solid 2,000 feet a minute. There's Riga. There is the edge of Riga. Hopefully the airport's in sight. Some buildings. Can't really see much from this distance. There is an airport. I don't think that's our airport though, so we have to keep going. Apologise, I did use the vertical navigation. It didn't quite work at the end as expected. Let's reset the auto throttle. We're descending now through 11,000 feet into our approach. Two and a half thousand feet, and then 2,000 feet for the final approach height. Now we've double checked our speeds. Double checked them. It was about 140, I believe. Let's go ahead and check that again. 130. Wow, quite low then. 130. Let's lower that down now to about 140 in preparation for it. There we go. Retract the spoilers, arm them, and yeah, let's do this. The glide slope is activated on ours. We're not got the autopilot on, so we're just going to use the flight director to guide us. That should be the airport ahead. There's Riga, and of course you got the river on that side. Can't quite see there's the airport. Okay, I can see the airport. We are way off from the runway. I activate autopilot. Oh. Gonna say if I activate autopilot, the lateral navigation won't work. Nothing will work on it. The approach won't work. It has highlight green. Gonna say let's try and do the autopilot now. Click that. Seems to be taking us off to the right. Nah, that's stupid. So sometimes when there's issues with it like this, it kind of makes me hate it, and it makes me wonder why this is classed as the most realistic simulator. It's clearly not. It's got a lot of broken features. So if the magenta diamond's illuminated, that means we're on the glide slope. Sorry, the localizer. The glide slope, and the runway's right ahead, so we're ready to land. looks like we're gonna be flying. That's not the runway, my mistake. That's the runway. Oh dear. When I expected it to go so well, it goes so badly. So badly. 140.
$2,500.
Remember, touchdown speed is 130, roughly, with 40 degrees of flat, so it's slightly fast. Crosswind, very strong crosswind. Reduced it to 130, seems to be a bit too slow. Struggling to keep the nose up. It did say 130.
400.
The speed. There we go. Stabilised a bit.
Approaching minimums.
Auto throttle off. So that speed drop down then, that's a bit of wind shear, I believe.
100.
There we go. Oh my goodness, blowing us all over the
50,
place.
40, 30, 20, 10.
Awesome. So we touched down without crashing.
80 knots.
Reverse thrusters stowed away.
Ladies and gentlemen, please remain seated with your seatbelts securely fastened until the captain has parked the aircraft at the gate and turned off the seatbelt sign. This will be your one and only indication that it's safe for you to get up and...
Welcome to Riga, ladies and gentlemen. I landed, yeah, and there was a little bit confusing. We had a steep descent right. We had to do it manually, which was a bit expected, but also a shame. Taxi lights, land lights off, strobes, keep them on, not necessarily steady. APU on, make sure we got power for the next flight. Next flight we won't be doing Ryanair again, we'll probably do, I think we'll do something like KLM, not really done KLM at all on this. Okay, just wait here for a second while we do the APU. Retract our flaps. There we go. Yeah, we got there in the end. Find us slightly long on the final, but we had some issues with the vertical navigation. Good landing. I think that was a good landing. It wasn't hard. It was a bit. I thought it was a bit slow at the end, but it worked out kind of ideal actually. stick that on, APU on. We'll leave the APU off bus, but we'll leave it switched on, and we'll select the APU air on as well. Right, let's taxi to the gate, see where we can park. I'm not too familiar with Riga Airport. Lufthansa, Ryanair, some sort of generic brand. We've got British Airways, Air France. Okay, there it is. The main terminals over there, some jetways. Seems to be a plane just parked in random spaces. Some parking there. We need a jetway for the passengers. We've got a jetway over there which is occupied. I think there's one free just next to this. It looks like an MD McDonnell Douglas. We'll go next to that. Yep, we got a nice space. 110, so 110, 110. No, 107. Alright, welcome to Riga. I'm going to disembark the passengers, or unload the passengers. We'll switch this on. We will do our checklists. Do the anti-ice off, we should really turn them off before. Leave the window heat on for the next crew. We'll leave the IRS on for the next crew as well. So that means we only turn off very few things, to be honest, including the engines. We're going to shut the engines down. There we go. And we did it with still got 4,000 kilograms of fuel left. Plenty of fuel if we wanted to do another flight. I think that's everything up here. Everything else can stay on. We're basically leaving it prepared. Okay, passengers. Let's see how crap our landing was. Great landing. Very bad approach. I'm not surprised. Okay, flaps above 19. Yeah, because we needed to descend very rapidly because the autopilot was not working. High rate descent, that's fine. I'll accept that. I'll accept that. The approach wasn't good, but the landing was great. Crap approach, great landing. That's the evidence. Right, airside services. So passengers on board in the jetway, see it's automatically connected. Cargo unloading. I'll get 63% of fuel left. So yeah, if you've come along to this flight and enjoyed it, let me know. Comment by telling me what your favourite plane is, what you'd like to see me do, where you'd like to see me fly. Perhaps you have recommendations for destinations or something else. For now, we're signing off from sunny Riga. I say goodbye to my 737 Ryanair delivery, so thank you very much for joining me on this flight. It's been an absolute pleasure.